Problem 3 of the internal rate of return lessons. 4 different prefabrication building locations have been suggested, of which only one will be selected, so it's mutually exclusive alternative. Costs and annual net cash flow information are detailed in the table below. If the MAR, minimum attractive rate of return of 10% per year, use IRR analysis. So they specify which method to use to select the most economically location. So the one that economically best location. We have 4 locations, A, B, C, D. Building costs, 200,000 for A, 275,000 for B, 190,000 for C, and 350,000 for D. Annual cash flow, so the income, positive, 22,000 for A, 35,000 for B, 19,500 for C, and 42,000 for D. Life years, 30 years, so they have the same number of years, so it's good. We don't have to use the least common multiple to find multiple years. In here, 30 years, the same. And yes, apply the challenger defender concept with the incremental investment. And in problem 2, we use the first the first step only, one by one comparison. Now we apply the 3 step of the IRR analysis, which is show it in here. Just want to review before we go back to. So remember, alternatives should never be compared with one for which the incremental investment is not justified. It means we have to justify, should I put more money in? Remember my scenario, I have $2 million in the previous lesson video, right? And now we have to do that. How? 3 steps IRR analysis procedure. First, order alternative by increasing initial investment. Similar to the fighting with ranking the different fighter in UFC or boxing. I just showed you in the previous lesson videos. This one the same, order of alternative. Then we calculate IRR of do nothing or the cheapest allowed alternative. So find the first defender basically for number 2. And then when you find the defender or the champion, then one by one calculate the incremental value of each challenger with the best alternative found so far. That called defender. So if the challenger won, it becomes the new defender. So that is the 3 step. Now apply to problem 3. Problem 3 there. So first step, order alternative by increasing the initial investment. From here, as you can see, the C is the least initial investment, 190,000. So then A, 200,000. Then B, 275. And then D, 350. So that's why we order C, A, B, D from least to the most expensive initial investment by increasing initial investment. Make sense? And of course, the least common multiple, they have the same year, 30 years. Step number 2, calculate IRR of do nothing or the cheapest allowed alternative to find the first defender, first 5 champions. Remember just the previous video, I showed you the champion, he a defender, Costa a challenger, 1 to 5. If he defeat the Israel defender, Costa become a new defender. So from that ranking, see, we find out the IRR for the do nothing or cheapest allowed alternative. This is the cheapest is C when we rank it. So from that ranking, find IRR for C. The cash flow diagram, we have it in there. We have 190,000 and then 19,500. So that we have the cash flow diagram. By now you are an expert for 30 years. And then we can find out the NPV. And with I, because we want to find out I. Make sense? Because this is IRR method. So negative 190 plus 19.5 per K. P over A, I star 30, 0. And then you can apply that equation in here. If you recall that P over A here. That's one here. So you have P over A. We have equation for that. P over A 1 plus I power n minus 1 over I 1 plus I power n. So you can plug that in here for that P over A. Yeah. So that here, P over A there. Yeah. You have P over A, we have it 1 plus I power n minus 1, and it actually 30. And then I 1 plus I power 30. So from that one, we have one equation, one unknown with I. So you can be able to find out I with your calculator. So plug in calculator, you can be able to find out the I star. If you are not sure, go back to problem 1 and problem 2. We know how to do that. So that calculator find out I star of the alternative C in 9.63%. And that's less than mark. Less than mark. Our mark in this problem is 10%. 10%. What does that mean? If the alternative less than mark, it's better to do nothing. So C is not viable. What does that mean? Do nothing is better. Do with mark is better. So C is not viable. Eliminate. So he's not a defender. We have to jump to A. If it's C, in this case, get like 11% greater than mark, so C is viable, then you go to step 3 immediately, because we already fight. Wow, I fight champion. I fight the defender already. Let's fight challenger and fight. Make sense? But this one, not good yet. So we need to continue step 2 to find out the defender, because we need 2 people to fight. We have not found defender yet. Should not jump to step 3. Step 3, go to the octagon. When they fight, then we need to have 2 fighter. Step 2, fight the champion. Fight the defender. So C is not good, eliminate it. Move to the next one. C, rank it, go to step 1 to C it. C to A. So C to A. So it means C is not good. Eliminate, go to A. A, do the same. Cash flow with 200,000, 22,000 per year benefit. So you have that. Exactly the same equation. Then go to the equation of the P over A here. Plug in your calculator for that factor. P over A, I percent 30. And I an unknowns. An X in your calculator. Solve that. You find out the I star equal to 10.49%. And that greater than mark. 10%. So it means A is viable. So A is the first defender. So when you fight defender, you need to fight challenger. Go to the octagon. Pay-per-view. People view it. You become rich. Make sense? So that's what people do. So that first defender. Now, when you already fight the first defender, stop step 2, go to step 3. And step 3, if you are not sure, go back to problem 2, where I show how to do step 3. And now I just go over it. One by one, calculate the incremental value of each challenger with the best alternative foul so far, the defender. The best foul so far is A. Again, not C. C already got. And that we have incremental values. And remember step 3 in problem 2, we need to show whether it's justifiable to put more money. In this case, we rank what? A to B. So whether I put more money to jump from A to B. A, I only put 200,000, and that is so far a defender. Should I put extra 75,000 to get a extra benefit, which is 35,000 minus 22, so it means that I get 13,000 more annual cash flow. I put 75,000 initial cost. Make sense? For 30 years. Should I do that? Is that justifiable? So that what is the purpose for step 3. So move from A to B. So you have incremental value B minus A. So B a challenger, A a defender. And based on this ranking, make sense? So A already defender, move, continue, that is B. So that B here. And that initial investment, that B, that A, you have incremental, so B minus A, 75,000. Incremental annual cash flow, extra benefits, 13,000 per year. From, if I jump from A to B, I can get more benefit from 20,000, 22,000 to 35,000. It means that I put extra 13,000 per year. If I invest 75,000 as the initial investment. So that is the incremental cash flow if I jump from A to B. Then you are similar to problem 2 and PV, not B, but B minus A. B minus A. Keep that in mind, B minus A. So that here, negative 75,000, 13,000, P over A, I star 30. Same process, find out IRR of B minus A. This is not B, B minus A. Whether I put more money from A to B. Should I put 75,000 more to move from location A to location B? And that I find out that IRR for that incremental value is 17.28% per year. What does that mean? If I move from A to B, I put extra 75,000. It's justifiable because my return on that money is more than 17,000. Why my minimum attractive rate of return is 10%? So it means that it's justifiable. It's good to put more money, jump from A to B. It means that when you find out the incremental IRR greater than MA, then you better go with the more expensive alternative. In this case, B is more attractive than A. Remember, when we do problem 2, the MAR, IRR, 12%, this is problem 2, 12%, 12.7%, less than MAR, 15%. So it's not viable to put extra money. So the defender wins. So when the IRR incremental value less than MA, go with defender. When IRR greater than MA, go with the challenger. So that's what happened in here, in this scenario. See that? IRR incremental 17.28% greater than 10%. Go with the defender. Alternative B is go with the challenger. Alternative B is more attractive than A, challenger B1. Alternative B becomes the new defender. In this case, the challenger defeat the defender, become a new champion, new defender. So now when you have a new defender, then it becomes B is a defender and D is challenger. If in this case, this scenario, I got only 9%, then A won, defender 1, then you have incremental value D minus A, not D minus B. But this one is B 1, then it becomes new defender. A already eliminated. Make sense? So that we have D minus B. So D challenger, B defender. Again, based on the ranking we do in the first order, first step. Make sense here? B move to D. And B is new defender, that's why we move B, D minus B. So go from D to B. Initial investment of D 350, of B 275. So put extra 75,000. With the additional benefit annually from 35,000 to 42, it means 7,000 per year. So what does that mean? If I move from location B to D, location D, I put extra 75,000 initial costs, and then I could get more money, in this case 7,000 per year for 30 years. So that is the incremental cash flow if I jump from B to D. And with that, we do the same process. NPV negative 75,000, 7,000, P over A, I star 30. Put in your calculator with equation here again. P over A, that equation. I unknown, N equal to 30. Then you have I of incremental value D minus B equal to 8.55%. And that's less than Ma 10%. What does that mean? B is more attractive than the defender B one because it's not better to put more money because it's better to put somewhere else. The opportunity cost is higher to put somewhere else with 10% instead of put more money, move from location B to location D. I only get return 8.55%. Where I put somewhere 10%. So it's better to put somewhere. That defender one. So as you can see, when the incremental IRR less than Ma, go with defender. Incremental IRR, internal rate of return, greater than Ma, go with the challenger. Challenger become a new defender, just like when we compare B to A. And in this case, B is the best alternative. Why? Because you see that no more alternative. If we continue E, F, C, D, A, I, J, K, just do the same process. Make sense? B compared to whatever E, F. So in this case, already 4 alternative we stop, and now B the best alternative. Choose alternative B. Make sense? And I hope that you understand the process, practice the additional practice problem here. And in the last 2 slides, I just summarize the story, that is the 4 alternative. And then with the building cost, annual cost, find out for each. First, I want to ranking, so C first, right? Do the same. I have I star, just like relay what we did. So it justify we put in C. Remember, no. So we better to do nothing. Do nothing. Then go to A, the I star, IRR 10.49%. So yeah, justify because greater than Ma 10%. So project selected is A. When it A is good, then we B minus A. B here, and that B to A. See that? C to do nothing compared to do nothing. Do nothing better. A to do nothing. A better. Now B to A. So you see incremental cost. Get that number, subtract 275, subtract 200. You get negative 75. Incremental cash flow, 13,000. Get the I star, 7,000, 17.28%. It's better to choose B, the challenger. It become a new defender. So whether to put more money? Yes. So we choose B. Then B to D. Put extra, again, another extra 75,000. Incremental value increase benefit, 7,000. I star, 8.55%. Incremental justified? No, because 8.55% less than Ma 10%. So not justified. Keep the defender B. No more project select, no more alternative. B will be the best alternative. So with that, I hope you understand and use this to practice additional problem in today.